Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are on the rooftop and we are in Mexico. There is a dog barking over there. Birds are singing. People are behind me. The sun is shining on my face and I love it. And I love it and I love it. And I'm going to record a video for you because I've been so many times divinely guided to do that video, yet always I was talking about it, yet this time it's a little bit different. This time I wanted to talk exactly about specific energy blocks that majority of us are carrying within us, not even knowing why I feel the way I feel. So if you are at the point in your life when you feel like, you know what, I know that there is time for healing. I know that there is something within me that has to be taken care of. This video is exactly for you, and I will talk you through those chakras, energy centers, and the blockages. And this is how you would be able to do something about it. Take action and let that divine intelligence step in and swoop you off your feet. Yes, here we go. So let's start maybe with expressing gratitude. I was on a flight for like 33 hours and it took me a little bit to get back to I was so confused. Not like so confused, but I was a little bit disorientated and a little bit, but I didn't allow it to get me away from doing what I love to do, which is exactly this. This is one of the parts. And there is another thing as well, like the biggest job we ever do is behind the scenes, when no one is watching. All the times we are spending on meditation, on ourselves, on our own work and cleansing. So if you are a healer, if you are someone like me who is doing lots of that stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And energy blocks is something that many people look at it in a little bit different way that I look at it, right? So the way I don't look like energy blocks. There is something that it's lying over here, right? It's lying over here, and it's like, okay, it's on the way between me and the phone and the bottle of water that it's supporting that phone. And okay, let's knock it out, and the problem is gone. Let's ask someone to knock it out, because that's what usually I see the perception of. Okay, so if I have an energy block, I need to call up the healer. They will come, they will swoop this on the side, and I'm all good. How come I am going back into the same X over and over again scenario after I had my healer healing me from that? So this is not how I look at it. The way I see energy is that those energy blocks are the old stagnant energies, and a lot of the work over here is you doing that work using a healer's help, support and guidance in whichever shape and form that could be. But if you are close to it, that block is not going anywhere, right? If you don't go into depth of it, it will resurface, if that makes sense. It will grow it back like a bad tumor. It's gonna come back like you know, if some of the weeds, if you're gonna leave the root in the ground, it will grow back. It will grow back. And that's how it could be seen as well. The same thing is with lots of energy work that we do on ourselves. We can do that stuff every single day. We can show up for ourselves. We can do magnificent work and progress and results. But the minute we're deciding to, I'm gonna skip this today, right? Or I'm taking day off, right? Like, come on, ego doesn't take days off. Come on, your old self doesn't take a day off or 2 weeks off. It's a consistency, it's a lifestyle change, it's an entire psychic change that you are choosing to do based on who you want to be here and now in this present moment. So when we are not meditating in this present moment today, for example, we are choosing to be the old self, and there is no wonder that later on that blockages or any type of old behavior comes back so easily, because we are lowering our frequency. And on that lower frequency, there is older you. On that higher frequency, there is a different version of you. So let's talk a little bit about those first 3 energy centers. The best possible explanation, and something that is going to help you the most, is to going into Dr. Joe Dispenza's book called Becoming Supernatural. And in this book, he explains with the graphs exactly. I don't have that book here. I have that book in Scotland. So, yeah. And in this book exactly he explains what each energy center is responsible for. And each time I'm doing energy healings on my clients, I see these energies and I see what they are connected to, what kind of belief systems, what kind of way of thinking and feeling, and everything makes sense. So those first three energy centers are responsible for survival, are responsible for keeping us alive, are responsible and designed to help us be grounded, stay on the ground. So when we chose to reincarnate in this shape and body, in this timeline, with these parents, yes, you have chosen your parents yourself. No, you weren't forced to be with them. You asked them to be your parents in this shape and form. I know, right? When I heard that for the first time, I was like, are you kidding me? And then I'm like, okay, looks like I have so much more work to do over here. And I did. And so I did. And it still is, a daily practice. I'm new perfect too. And these first three energy centers are designed to keep us grounded, so we are staying in the earth, on the ground, emotionally, mentally, and physically as well. And they are not our bodies. They are not bad, stay away from the centers. Not at all, not at all. It's so funny because the first few years of the spiritual journey, I was convinced that they are bad centers, right? That they only store the negative energy and not good. And I was stuck in these upper centers, still puzzled entirely. What the heck is going on? How come I cannot manifest the life of my dreams when I'm so spiritual, when I'm healing so many people, and I've done so many healings on me? And then came the time to wouse it all together, make it a wholeness, work it on all of it from a point of love, light, and truth. And I started diving into those three centers from an entirely new perspective. And I started looking at them as my best friends, as a wholeness. They're equally magnificent, valuable, and precious as any other center in my system. Because the first I was only open on my heart. And that was awesome and amazing because that's what I needed to start that massive healing journey. And then it came time to shift my perception and use the new one, the one that works best for me, which is the wholeness. And I'm still very much hearted focus, hearted open, following my heart guidance / following my divine guidance, whichever way you want to call it. And that's what works for me the best because it got me where it got me right now. And I am over the moon. I am grateful over the moon. I overcame massive addictions. The biggest addiction was to feeling unworthy, not good enough, feeling like piece of shit all the time, every single day, not being able to change it. That was my biggest addiction. And when I would be actually doing something about it, I would be sabotaging that because these energy centers were so filled up with stuck old energy, and I was always returning back to that guilt and shame, feeling not good enough, messing up, even if it is just a thought that it wasn't the kindest thought about something or someone. I overcame codependence, which is the biggest possible foundation for any other addiction like drugs, sex, alcohol, and all that stuff was for me to deal with as well in this lifetime. I overcame that feeling of I'm just never gonna get there. I'm just never gonna get there. Whatever I'm gonna do, doesn't matter what I'm gonna do, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not, I just couldn't fully get it, fully embrace it until I fully dived into that energy work. As you notice, English is not my first language. Yeah, and things have changed in a massive way. I manifested the life of my dreams, the life where I am safe with me, everywhere I am in the whole world. This week is the biggest week ever. I had my last day in my 9 to 5, which I wanted to change for a long time. And after I fall in love with everyone and everything over there, I was able to manifest that. I am doing my dream job as a full-time job, as an energy healer and spiritual mentor. I'm having the best clients ever. Every day I'm getting messages that they're speaking about the most beautiful and amazing thing and asking me for support and help with something else. How magnificent is that? It's like, wow, I'm so happy to be able to help people on such a deep level, cellular level, going very deeply into energy and body and DNA as well, because this is what you can do with energy, because energy is everything. And when you can master energy, you can master your life. And I'm so grateful to hear every day about the revolutionary things that they're going through, how amazing they feel. And I manifested for myself that feeling safe with myself. I manifested new body, by the way. I'm not even showing it to anyone because that's not my thing, not yet. But I even manifested an entirely new body, like weight loss and how it's shaped in such a beautiful way. And that's not me going to gym and forcing my body. This is actually me working with my body, or me getting in alignment with my body. And I love doing yoga, and I do it every day. That's it. And I just show up for myself, whether it's 5 minutes or whether it is half an hour or 45 minutes. Yeah. And I manifested meeting up the love of my life, you know. This is something that in October, I knew, like, ooh, I think it's time to shut the gate. Call the shot. Saying that, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna, stay as I am. And then things changed. When I saw that person, I just knew straight away, that's the soul. That's what it is. And that's beautiful. And I'm extremely grateful. And that wouldn't happen if I wouldn't dove deep. And those first 3 energy centers are the key, because they store so much of this energy that it is all connected with the first center. So we have the first, second, and the third one. And all of that energy is connected to elimination. It's connected to sex. And all of a sudden, in this conditioned world, we are so conditioned for those 3 centers. We're not conditioned for the up centers. No. We're conditioned for the bottom centers. Sex, food, power, right? Power. So that's just the simplest possible explanation. But the first center is responsible for those stuff, elimination, and as well it is connected to sexual, not just the second one. Everyone talks about the second one or the first one. I think it's both, because when I hear someone's blocks over there, I feel it in my root chakra. And the root is the most important with any type of healing, because you've got to start from the root of the issue. Yeah, you can start from the heart, but you're gonna have to at some point go to the root and the problem of the issue, which it is you not being here and now in your body. You're not owning your body. You're not owning this timeline. You're not owning your story. You're not owning you and who you are. You're not owning your mistakes and your wins. You're basically rejecting yourself, and you are rejecting who you are and you have been through. And yes, I get it. It's difficult, because it took me 33 and a half years when I was entirely on my knees, not knowing entirely who the hell am I, to become at the point of full-on surrender, and finally feeling like, okay, I'm gonna have to look within instead of keep on running away to the outside sources. And that's where it was an amazing turning point for me. And that second chakra, that first chakra is just, we don't go there. We just don't go there. And then no wonder that we have issues. The sexual energy is creator energy. It's manifestation energy. I couldn't fully manifest until I allow myself to be fully in my whole being as a sexual being as well, with my own needs, desires, wants, preferences, and everything as a whole. Someone talked about it in a live video very beautifully, about how important it is to connect with your sexuality. I'm not talking out loud because there are people around me. I don't have an issue saying that word, but there are people around me. I'm going to continue with that video, and I'm going to create a part 2 with first, second, and third chakra, and I'm going to explain to you about those blocks and how to change and shift that energy into an energy of light, into an energy of pure bliss, where you are entirely the version of yourself you would like it to be. If this has any value for you, please click a like, send me a message, and I will talk to you soon.